American Senator Ted Cruz has accused the Nigerian government of embarking on international propaganda instead of addressing the core issues that led to Christian genocide in the country. Ted Cruz said that the Nigerian government knows what to do to stop Christian genocide, but they are not ready to do it. But instead of doing it, that the Nigerian government has embarked on international propaganda, trying to send information denying Christian genocide in the country. Now, in this video, we're going to show you an example of what made Ted Cruz to say that, because there are some interviews that are going on across the world, allegedly engineered by the Nigerian government. One of such interviews was the interview that an international lawyer did with Tucker Carlson, one of America's leading podcasters and one of the world's leading podcasters, Tucker Carlson. And now Tucker Carlson granted interview to this international lawyer, Robert Amsterdam, who has a long history of relationship with Nigeria. And a lot of people are interpreting that as part of the Nigerian government propaganda to stop the notion that there is ongoing Christian genocide in Nigeria. And in the interview you are going to watch, even Ted Cruz was mentioned by this international lawyer who seems to know a lot about Nigeria and is defending the country in line with what Nigerian government had been saying about this Christian genocide. Watch him, then we'll come back and discuss. Watch.
Speaking of African countries, all of a sudden, I'm not defending Nigeria. I don't have strong views in Nigeria, but Nigeria has become famous in the last week as a country in which there's Christian persecution going on. I think there's been a lot of conflict between Muslims and Christians in Nigeria for, my whole life. But all of a sudden, it's a kind of centerpiece of the conversation. What is the truth? You've been in and out of Nigeria for how long?
50 years.
50 years. 1975. Is that correct?
Yes.
It's a long time. So you know Nigeria pretty well.
I do.
What is the truth about what's going on? Well, and I ask because you've got credibility. You know the country, and you're spending the rest of your life defending Christians around the world. Tell me what the actual truth of Christian persecution in Nigeria is.
Well, let's be very clear that the Nigerian government is populated by Christians and Muslims. Mm-hmm. I have represented in his earlier life the National Security Advisor of Nigeria when he was a young man, and he's a lovely individual, and caring and universally respected in terms of religious issues. Devout Muslim, but universally respected. In my adopted family in Lagos, mm-hmm. the Odesanya family sort of adopted me when I was a very, very young man, and living there. I sort of have a half brother there, Dapo Odesanya. That family is a totally integrated family, Muslim, Christian. I was always teased that I was a Yoruba, which is a Jewish Yoruba. But I mean, there have always been tribal conflict. I spoke to the foreign minister before I came here because I wanted to get clarity on the government's position. Absolutely, let's be clear, President Tinubu's wife is a Christian pastor. This is not targeted at Christians. There are probably an equal or more number of Muslim deaths. I am grateful to President Trump for identifying these attacks on Christians. Believe it or not, you can blame some of this on the French, who had this.
I do. I know nothing about it, but I believe you anyway.
They had a massive force in the Sahel. They armed the Tuaregs, which are a notoriously aggressive tribal group. That arming has led to mass killings of Christians. The fact that when Libya blew apart, a massive amount of arms went down to Boko Haram. can't be denied by anyone. Nigeria wants to consult with the United States. Nigeria wants assistance in protecting Christians and Muslims, protecting their populations. Nigeria feels it has not had a fair shake from Washington. And I'm not, I don't work for Nigeria. I'm not going to go on and on. The foreign minister is a close friend who I respect deeply. But I can tell you from my work, I was privileged to represent one of the Nigerian states years ago, Akwa Ibom. We won a case actually for them. The Nigerians would welcome American assistance with open arms. So this is unlike Ukraine, which is destroying its church, or Armenia, which is destroying its church. Here you have a government that wants to protect its populace, doesn't have the resources. Nobody's going to deny Nigeria's been racked by corruption all the years I've known it. But they want a new deal, a new relationship with Washington, and in part to assist them in protecting Christians. So when I read some of what I've been reading, I'm never going to say that Ted Cruz isn't a brilliant man. But I'm going to say I might have a little more time in Nigeria than he does. And I would welcome him to speak to the foreign minister or others, because one thing America doesn't need are more enemies.
That was one of the interviews that Senator Ted Cruz was referencing to when he was talking about the Nigerian government, instead of addressing the key issue that led to Christian genocide in Nigeria, that the government has embarked on propaganda or spreading misinformation or disinformation. Okay, that's one of the interviews, and this interview was by Carlson. Carlson, as I said, is one of the biggest podcasters in America. It's on top. After, when you talk about people like Joe Rogan in America, you begin to talk about somebody like Tucker Carlson. Okay, and for you to appear on his podcast on this kind of issue, you know what it means. So Ted Cruz, you can see that Ted Cruz was also part of the subject of the matter, because the international lawyer Robert Amsterdam is portraying himself that he knows Nigeria better than Ted Cruz. And you know that Ted Cruz himself was the originator of the bill to ensure that Nigeria is held accountable for alleged Christian genocide in the country. The bill that intend to classify Nigeria as a country of particular concern, which already President Donald Trump has redesignated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. And the bill went further to talk about that Nigeria must deal with the issue of Sharia law and blasphemy law. Okay, and in the recent intervention which he made on Friday, Ted Cruz was saying that Nigerian government know that at the root of the alleged Christian genocide in the country is Sharia law and blasphemy law. That Nigeria is not ready, has not shown indication to address these two core issues. Instead, that what Nigerian government is doing is hopping from one international media to another, trying to sell its own narrative, saying that that cannot work, that Nigeria should address the core issue of Sharia law and blasphemy law, claiming that this is at the core of the Christian genocide in Nigeria, that these issues need to be addressed. And if you remember, in his bill, which is before the U.S. Congress, that bill has passed the second reading. One of the things he demanded was that the states that are operating the Sharia law will be sanctioned. There should be sanction against enablers of Sharia law and blasphemy law. Okay. Now, that said, now let us look at the narrative by the international lawyer Robert Amsterdam. Now, you can see that Robert Amsterdam was dropping names, even though he claimed not to be speaking for the Nigerian government. But he didn't waste time to remind you that he's a friend of Nigeria's, he's a friend to Nigeria's National Security Advisor. That's Nuhu Ribadu. He said that he has worked with him before when he was a younger man. Perhaps that was when Nuhu Ribado was the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. He said he has worked with him. So he knows him. He said the man, even though he's a devout Muslim, he's not an extremist, okay? And he went on to talk about the fact that before he came for that interview with Dr. Carlson, he said that he has spoken with the Nigeria's foreign minister. And who is our foreign minister? Our foreign minister is Yusuf Tuga. He said he has spoken with him to know the position of Nigeria. So he had to be educated on the position of Nigeria. So when he appeared on Tucker Carlson, it was to regurgitate the position of Nigeria. And to his credit, he was honest enough to reveal that before he came for this interview, he spoke with Nigeria's foreign minister, who told him the position of the Nigerian government. And it was that position of the Nigerian government that he was regurgitating. For instance, you heard where he was saying that Nigerian government is populated by Christians and Muslims. Therefore, there's no basis to talk about Christian genocide. Okay. Then he talked about that the wife of the president is a pastor. Okay. Now, these are some of the narratives that, if you have been listening to all their intervention by the Nigerian government, including the one by the Minister of Information, okay, when he appeared on CNN, it was the same narrative that the government is made up of both Muslims and Christians and all that. That had been the narrative that even Daniel Bola and all the others that have been making intervention in this matter. So this international lawyer, Robert Amsterdam, you can see that because he claimed that he knows Nigeria more than Tucker Carlson, who initiated the bill to ensure that Nigerian officials are sanctioned and that something is done about the issue of Christian genocide. Okay. Now, beyond that, I've also found out that he had a long relationship with Nigerians. It was alleged that he was the one that represented the former governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, when Malam Nasir El-Rufai was the minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and demolished a lot of structures of the poor people. So Amnesty International took El-Rufai to court. So this was the lawyer that allegedly defended Malam Nasir El-Rufai. So you can see that he is somebody who has been doing things with Nigerian officials. And so even his defense, that his appearance here in this interview, that he wasn't a part of, he didn't come here to do the bidding of the Nigerian government. But the things he said was a clear indication of somebody who is doing some job for the Nigerian government. Okay. Now, he is not only that he had worked for Malam Nasir El-Rufai, of course, that of National Security Advisor, he said it by himself. He was also said to have been working for a lot of despots around the world. People like Robert Mugabe, when Robert Mugabe was facing international sanction as a result of human rights abuse when he was alive as president of Zimbabwe. He was the lawyer that represented him. He has been alleged to represent a lot of dictators or people who have been accused of abusing the rights of their people. And you heard him there, he talk about Akwa Ibom. He has represented Akwa Ibom and all that when they needed the issue. There was an issue that concerns Akwa Ibom State, in which he represented Akwa Ibom State. So he is somebody who the government of Nigeria is presenting. That's my thinking, that he knows better than what is going on in Nigeria than Ted Cruz. But do you agree with that? Do you think that this lawyer knows better than Ted Cruz? Do you think that Ted Cruz don't know what he's doing? Do you think that this international lawyer, Robert Amsterdam, that he knows better than the American president, Donald Trump, that redesignated Nigeria as a country of particular concern? What do you think? Because Ted Cruz's anger is that instead of addressing the core issues to be able to deal with the issue of Christian genocide, Nigerian government is living in denial. His argument is that Nigerian government is living in denial, and living in that denial, they have embarked on propaganda campaign to stop the notion that there is Christian genocide. And one of the best places they can do it is in America, where it is top on the agenda of a lot of people right now, since Bill Maher and Ted Cruz draw the attention of the Americans, especially the mainstream media in America, to the issue of Christian genocide in Nigeria. So Ted Cruz is insisting that Nigerian government has not done enough to address the issue of Christian genocide. Do you agree with him? Or do you think that Nigerian government is doing a lot since Donald Trump threatened military action inside Nigeria to deal with the terrorists if Nigerian government does not rise up to the occasion and tackle the issue of Christian genocide? Do you think that the Nigerian government is doing enough? There are some people now who are saying, oh, since the threat from Donald Trump, that the Tinubu administration has risen to the occasion. There have been reports in the media that the military are taking out the terrorists and all that. There are also troubling reports of a brigadier general, allegedly, who had been kidnapped when they were ambushed in Borno State or so recently, where they say that they captured some soldiers, killed a lot of soldiers, and captured the brigade commander. They say that is one of the most embarrassing situations to have ever happened in recent time. Okay, where the terrorist was alleged to have killed a lot of Nigerian soldiers, and even took a brigadier general as a hostage, indicating that whatever the government is doing, you need to do more, because if it doesn't, if this thing continues the way it's going, and the alleged genocide keep on increasing, and the government is unable to do it, whether propaganda or whatever they are doing to tell the world that there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria wouldn't make any difference. Like Pastor Adeboye, the general overseer of the Redeemed Church, recently advised Tinubu that he should ask Trump to give him 100 days to be able to take care of business. But do you think that even that 100 days will be enough for Tinubu to be able to turn the tide against the terrorists, so that Trump will have no reason to send American Marines or soldiers to come into Nigeria and deal with the terrorists? Or do you think that, what do you think? Let us know what you think. This idea of moving from media house to media house around the world to convince them that there is no Christian genocide, is it really working? Because to be frank, it doesn't really make any sense again, because already United States government has redesignated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. If there is anybody that his mind needs to be changed, it's Donald Trump. No matter how many international media organizations you talk to, unless Trump is convinced that the information he has is not true, unless Trump is convinced that the reports he's getting from the Republican base about the Christian genocide in Nigeria is not true, I don't think there's any change that you're going to see. Of course, one of the Republican base is Carlson. Carlson campaigned for Donald Trump Tucker Carlson is a Republican. Tucker Carlson is one of the media personalities that helped Trump to win. Okay, now he's no longer in the same page with Trump. There's a gulf between them now. Okay, even Donald Trump don't take Tucker Carlson seriously anymore, unlike before. Okay, the gap between, there's a big gulf now between Tucker Carlson and Donald Trump. And Donald Trump no longer even believes things coming out of Tucker Carlson. So you look at it, you say that if it is Nigerian government that is doing all this and thinking that it will make Trump to change his mind, they need to do their homework better. They need, before they embark on this jamboree of trying to convince the international community that the stories they are hearing from the victims, because before this thing, it is the stories of the victims that was the thing that turned the tide against Nigeria. It is the story of the victim, the stories that came out from Benue State, from Bishop Wilfred Anaba, the Catholic Bishop of Makurdi. He went to the U.S. Congress and presented a vivid picture of what he said is happening in Benue State. He called it genocide when he presented it. He gave them data and everything else. Okay? And there were collaborators. There were those who have corroborated what he said, look, this man is saying the truth, because of their own independent investigation. Look at Mike Arnold, the American mayor that was invited by this same government. And according to Mike Arnold, National Security Advisor, NSA, was with Reno Omokri when he was invited to come and dispel the notion that there is Christian genocide. Unfortunately, Mike Arnold also is somebody who has been working in Nigeria to find out this issue of Christian genocide, was able to present a report that indicated that there is Christian genocide in Nigeria. And his report, it demanded that the Nigerian government be sanctioned, and they outlined several other recommendations that need to be taken by the United States government and the international community. So it's not just to go and talk to some prominent media organizations and houses. It is the capacity to be able to convince the people. Already, many people are not being convinced internationally. That's my observation as somebody who has been monitoring this matter, that many people are not being convinced by the story of the Nigerian people, Nigerian government. They seem to believe the victims. And if you understand the mindset of the West, the mindset of America, they follow the notion that you should believe the victims first. Okay? That's why when you have the issue of raping a woman, they believe that the woman, you should believe the woman. If the woman said that she had been raped, the first thing is to believe the woman first before you even begin to investigate. Okay, so they believe the victims, and the victims are presenting a lot out there to counter whatever the Nigerian government is doing. So the bottom line is what Ted Cruz has said, that Nigeria knows what to do. He said the Nigerian government knows what to do, but they are not doing it. They refuse to do it. Instead they are embarking on propaganda. I don't know whether you agree with Ted Cruz that Nigerian government knows what to do to stop Christian genocide, but is not doing it, and had embarked on propaganda. Do you agree with Ted Cruz, or do you agree with Nigerian government that is doing everything and that there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria? Whatever is your position, let's hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video, and if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.